Today, we share a heartfelt and detailed account of a series of events that started in early January 2024 and continued into March, affecting our family in unexpected ways. The story focuses on our father's struggles following a fall that left him vulnerable and led to a cascade of challenges related to his health, personal care, and finances. This narrative presents the events in a clear and relatable manner without overwhelming technical details, allowing viewers to appreciate the emotional journey and the practical issues faced along the way. In this video, we discuss the initial incident, the immediate aftermath, and the decisions that were made during his hospital stay. We also explain how subsequent falls and difficulties with mobility at home compounded his situation. As his condition changed, decisions about transferring him to different care facilities were made, each with its own set of challenges and concerns. We further detail his conversations about financial instructions and the subsequent conflicts that arose among family members regarding his assets. Importantly, all the names mentioned in this account have been changed to protect everyone's privacy. Our intention is to offer a comprehensive understanding of the challenges faced by an older family member receiving care in a system that sometimes falls short. Through this carefully presented narrative, we hope to shed light on the importance of clear communication, compassion, and respectful handling of delicate family matters. We invite you to listen closely as we recount each part of this difficult yet instructive experience truly. During the first week of January 2024, on either the 6th or 7th morning, our father experienced a sudden fall in the early hours, which set off a chain of events that would challenge our family emotionally and practically. In those quiet early hours, he fell on the floor, and clearly in need of immediate help, he reached out to his close relative, whom we will call Aunt Lisa. Aunt Lisa responded as quickly as she could. She arrived on the scene with her young grandson, whose bright spirit and unique perspective added a soft touch in an otherwise difficult moment. Despite the young age of the child, his presence reminded everyone of the importance of family care and support. Aunt Lisa helped our father off the floor, making sure he was as comfortable as possible before any further actions were taken. Once the situation was under control, we immediately contacted his primary care physician, who advised that it was best to have him evaluated at the VA hospital emergency department, given the circumstances and his vulnerable condition. The doctor's recommendation was clear. Prompt medical evaluation was necessary to rule out any serious injuries or underlying issues. With this in mind, appropriate arrangements were made for his transportation. The overall atmosphere was one of urgency tempered by careful consideration, as every move was important to ensure our father's safety. The timing of the fall, the quick mobilization of help by Aunt Lisa, and the medical advice given that morning all contributed to the stressful and anxious feeling of uncertainty about what would come next. This early incident not only highlighted the physical challenges our father was facing, but also set the stage for the decisions and complications that would arise in the following days and weeks. The experience resonated deeply with all family members involved, emphasizing how quickly an ordinary day can transform into a crisis that requires support, swift action, and heartfelt compassion. This incident marked a somber beginning, reminding us all that even small moments can lead to significant consequences when health and safety are at stake. Truly. After the fall, our father was swiftly taken to the VA hospital for further evaluation, following clear instructions from his primary care physician. Once at the emergency department, he underwent a series of assessments that sought to determine the extent of his injuries. Despite his fragile state, he was provided with an adult diaper and other basic necessities, although this approach left him feeling dehumanized and disappointed. According to his account, he was not offered assistance to use the restroom or even provided a portable toilet, despite his repeated requests, which only added to his discomfort during this critical time. The medical team, though well-intentioned, seemed overwhelmed by the sudden influx of patients and the complexity of his case. On the morning of January 11th, discussions about his care took an unexpected turn when Uncle Mark arrived to help bring him home. The decision to send him back home was influenced by the VA hospital's agreement that he could be cared for in a less formal setting while awaiting placement at a skilled nursing facility. However, the transition from hospital to home care was not smooth. The care instructions were clear, yet the practical challenges were immense. Our father, already bound to a wheelchair due to mobility issues, also relied on his mobility scooter as a means of independence. The process of transferring him from the hospital bed to home furniture was fraught with difficulties and never quite matched the expected standard of care. Every moment was filled with uncertainty as we tried to balance professional medical advice with the reality of home care logistics. The experience at the hospital was marked by a mixture of hope for timely recovery and frustration over what seemed like a lack of dignity and proper attention. In spite of these challenges, our family did our best to follow medical guidance, trusting that each decision would lead to better outcomes in the long run. The choices made in those hours, though rushed and imperfect, were rooted in the desire to preserve his autonomy and to keep him safe. This delicate balance between clinical recommendations and real-life caregiving continues to influence our ongoing efforts to secure the best possible care for him. Every new day at the hospital brought fresh challenges and victories, as the staff attempted to balance necessary protocols with compassionate care, ultimately shaping a care experience that was both imperfect and human. After returning home on January 11th, with Uncle John's help, our father faced new challenges that tested the limits of home care. Although the doctor had cleared him for a home environment while waiting for placement in a skilled nursing facility, the reality of managing daily activities at home proved far more difficult than anticipated. Our father, who had grown accustomed to some degree of independence using his wheelchair and mobility scooter, encountered a new obstacle when he attempted to transfer himself onto the couch. The maneuver, which had seemed simple on paper, turned hazardous as he lost balance and fell again. This second fall was a significant setback and left him in distress. The immediate response was to call Aunt Lisa once more, hoping she would be able to help him get up. However, this time, circumstances did not allow for a swift recovery. Unable to stand on his own, he improvised a makeshift solution by creating a comfortable pallet upon which he could rest until further assistance arrived. For several hours, he remained on the floor, a poignant reminder of his vulnerability and our collective struggle to find the best care at home. When I arrived 4 hours later, I quickly assisted in transferring him into his bed, yet we encountered further complications. At various times between January 11th and January 17th, additional falls occurred, and on one occasion our father was left unable to reach the restroom in time. This led to embarrassing incidents where he had to pass urine and defecate on himself, requiring us to change him multiple times during the day. Even small tasks, such as using a urinal, became difficult, and each episode compounded his physical and emotional distress. The challenges did not end there. On one occasion, Uncle John and his son, Darren, arrived with the hope of giving him a shower. Our father was in considerable pain by then, making movement agonizing and transfers nearly impossible. Despite the discomfort, Uncle John and Darren carefully positioned him into his wheelchair and gently rolled him into the shower. They managed to give him a thorough clean, all the while working against the clock as our father's pain was evident with every motion. Afterwards, they placed him back in his bed, leaving him without clothing, which added a layer of vulnerability to an already distressing situation. We learned about resilience in those difficult days. Following the tumultuous events at home, our father's care took a new direction on January 17th, as he was admitted to a different facility called Virginia Mason, a choice he made after voicing his reluctance to return to the VA hospital because of his previous negative experiences. At Virginia Mason, his condition had worsened slightly, and he presented with several bed sores, along with a diagnosed back fracture from the recent fall. The change in setting brought both hope and concern, as the clinical environment promised more specialized care, while the new challenges of transitioning between facilities added to the overall stress. By January 25th, he was transferred again, this time to Park West Skilled Nursing Facility, where the promise of more focused rehabilitation met an environment that sometimes fell short of expectations. The shift from hospital to nursing facility sparked mixed feelings throughout the family. On one hand, we appreciated the effort to manage his condition in settings designed for elderly care. On the other hand, there remained a lingering dissatisfaction with the manner in which he was treated, particularly regarding routine tasks and the level of compassionate support. During his time at Park West, our father often spoke about his feelings of isolation and regret that some family members, including siblings he had not seen in many years, had not reached out. He specifically mentioned missing contact with relatives we will refer to as Brother James and Sister Tara, expressing sadness over the lost opportunities for connection. His comments about these relations revealed a deep longing for reconciliation and warmth, even as he criticized the care he was receiving. This experience has forced us to reflect on the delicate balance between professional medical treatment and the genuine need for family support, understanding, and presence during times of hardship. Every decision to transfer, every new facility, brought its own set of adjustments and uncertainties, yet we continued to advocate for his dignity and comfort throughout the entire process. Throughout this entire transition, we remained united, working tirelessly to ensure that his care met both medical standards and our heartfelt expectations. Entering early February 2024, new complexities emerged surrounding our father's personal finances. Shortly after being ambulated from the VA emergency department, he was transferred to a facility that promised a fresh start, and it was during this period that he began to focus on his financial legacy. On approximately February 7th, while at the VA hospital in Seattle, our father gathered the courage to discuss his wishes for his assets with me and Aunt Lisa. With a clear and steady voice, he instructed that $17,000 be transferred from his BQ co-account into the savings accounts designated for his two children. These accounts, set up especially for his two young grandchildren, represented a lifeline of hope for their future. In addition, he directed Aunt Lisa to take $5,000 from his Chase account and place it into her grandson's savings account, ensuring that his grandchildren would always have a secure financial base. Throughout these discussions, he was careful to express concerns about the intentions of other siblings, whose arrival and involvement he feared might jeopardize his wishes. His instructions were precise. The money was never meant for others, but had always been intended solely for the benefit of his grandchildren. At a time when the family was already grappling with healthcare uncertainties, these financial directives underscored another layer of vulnerability in his situation. For our father, safeguarding these assets was not merely about money. It was about ensuring a secure future for his descendants and preserving a legacy that had been built with care and conviction. In sharing his clear directives, he hoped to prevent any misunderstandings or misappropriations, setting firm guidelines for how his assets should be handled in the face of growing family tensions. These clear financial instructions were intended solely to protect his grandchildren's future security beyond any doubt. As the month progressed into February and early March, family conflicts started to cast a shadow over our father's care. On February 23rd, his healthcare care team arranged a meeting to share the results of a blood cancer test he had undergone. It was discovered that he had developed a type of blood cancer, and he began a new medication whose side effects affected his cognitive abilities, a change that increased the urgency of having a trusted power of attorney in place. That very evening, Aunt Lisa sent a group text to all our siblings and family members, asking for help caring for him upon his return home. The text led to a cascade of disrespectful and threatening responses, which further complicated an already stressful situation. The following day, on February 24th, our father called in a state of anger, accusing me of stealing his van and other personal property. I calmly explained that his van was safe and that I had no part in any theft, but his words only deepened the rift. In subsequent days, text messages from siblings accused me of stealing money from him, specifically alleging that I had taken $17,000 from his account. These allegations were backed by harsh words and ultimatums, with one sibling insisting that law enforcement be involved if I did not account for the funds. Despite providing recorded voice evidence that confirmed my account of the financial directives, these accusations continued. The intensity of the confrontations increased on March 2nd when a sibling called Aunt Lisa, laden with anger and violent threats. This incident was not isolated. It included disturbing references to past events where family members were involved in physical altercations. The situation grew so bitter that further attempts at communication were abandoned. Calm dialogue never returned. To summarize, the events from January through March 2024 reveal the emotional and practical challenges of caring for an aging family member. Our father's journey, marked by unexpected falls, difficult transitions between medical facilities, and ongoing financial and familial disputes, has provided us with profound lessons in resilience and the need for compassionate care. Each setback and every hard decision reinforced our commitment to preserving his dignity and well-being. We witnessed how hurried medical decisions at the hospital, the strenuous efforts of home care, and the ensuing family conflicts over finances intermingled to create a complex situation that tested our bonds. Although the path was marred by obstacles and painful disagreements, this experience has taught us the importance of honest communication and mutual respect within our family. By sharing this story, we hope others understand the delicate balance between clinical care, personal independence, and family responsibility. The lessons we have learned extend far beyond our own experience, offering a reminder that empathy, patience, and understanding are crucial when navigating the intricacies of elder care. Looking ahead, we remain dedicated to ensuring that our father receives the best possible care while striving to heal old wounds and rebuild.